And while he's ready to come in, there's an emergency fielder from the Pakistan team running across in front of the side screen. Khan again bowling to Graves and forward to it, and there's no run. And the emergency fielder, I think who is Mohammad Abbas actually, is wearing a bright fluorescent yellow. So the Khan now bowling from the Brian Lara Pavilion end. Bowling to Graves. Hurried defensive shot back down the track, taken by the bowler. And the Pakistan team continuing here. They know that they're close to making a serious breakthrough, which could see the West Indies perhaps go down for less than 250. That's what they're endeavoring to do at the moment here. Graves again turning this one on the onside. There's no run. Nice tight over, and this is the sort of pressure that Sajid, that's what he's brought in to do here. Create pressure and create the conditions where the West Indies will lose a couple of wickets.
Force the batsmen to play at every single delivery, play around their pads, and bring all of those close-in fielders into play. So he's doing his job. Here's
Sajid to Graves, and he's playing it off the back foot into the gap, and that could run away for 4. The fielder is racing after it. Can he pull it back? He does. A nice sliding stop in the outfield, and that saves a couple of runs. 1 run, in fact, as Graves takes 3. He and Chase, who are very tall, slim men, very similar looking in terms of their build, they cross over easily for 3.
Slightly over pitch delivery there just allowed Graves to get in position quickly and play a glorious drive. Good fielding as well by the Pakistani team, chasing in pairs. They saved 1 run. West Indies currently 176 for 5 at the end of the 52nd over.
Sheikh Hope fell in the previous over. Hope, since he's returned to Test cricket in 2025, has had 300s and 250s in 10 Test matches. However, only able to get 29 this time, to go with the 92 that he scored in the previous game. And when you look at Pakistan, so light in terms of their bowling department in this game, the fact that they've taken 5 wickets so far, they must be pretty chuffed with that.
Oh yes, certainly. Definitely something to be commended. Especially, we don't know what is happening in the dressing room, why the changes occurred, but you're seeing it bearing fruit right about now. Even though on paper they look a bit thin, they are doing the proper execution on the field. And that is the important aspect of this game.
Ali has that white wristband around his wrist. He is in now on his left hand. He's in now to bowl to Graves. Solidly forward to it. Plays it back to the bowler. There's no run. And the decision to leave out Mohammad Abbas, continues to be a bit perplexing. I read this, that Abbas is actually the first Pakistani bowler in 46 years to be left out after taking a 5-wicket haul. The last time it happened to a Pakistani bowler was a bowler by the name of Ihteshamuddin. He was left out after taking a 5-wicket haul during the 1979-80 tour of India. That's the last time it's ever happened. Tells you how rare what we've seen here is. Here's Ali now into Graves, plays it off the back foot. Behind square, will get 1. Ambles down to the other end. So it continues to be a bit mystifying. And the explanation about the conditions was also a bit strange.
Certainly raised a few eyebrows and quite a lot of questions. And discourse about this selection, I guess omission, is going to continue up until this test match concludes, as well as beyond, depending on the outcome of the game.
Well, I can only imagine what the discussion is like in Pakistan, especially for those people who are fans of Mohammad Abbas. They might be very, very, very surprised and amazed by that particular decision. Here's Ali past the umpire, bowling to the tall figure of Chase. Forward to it, half forward to it. Really plays it out to cover region, and there's no run. So West Indies still looking for a big partnership in this innings. We haven't had a huge partnership so far, and that's the one very disappointing thing about this innings for the West Indies. If the team management I'm sure if we were to chat with them now, they would have been hoping for something better than 53, which is the best partnership so far. And that was 53 for the fifth wicket between Graves and Hope, the now departed Hope.
Oh, definitely. Coming off of 194-run partnership between Hodge and Hope, it's going to be a lot different.
And here is Ali. This one is outside the off stump, and Chase just picks up his bat, allows that to go through to Rizwan. The crowd is built up nicely here at the Queen's Park Oval, the bottom section of the Caribbean stand. There are some spaces, but a lot of people there. The top section, a lot more. The pavilion, smattering of spectators, more than half full in the Brian Lara Pavilion. And away to our left and right, there are spectators in both of the stands. So a fair crowd so far, but in times gone by, of course, the West Indies were in their pomp. The stadium would have been absolutely rocking at this point.
I would have certainly liked to sit here and experience that.
As Ali now into Chase, forward to it, and there's no run. Plays it out to the mid-off period. My first time here was 1984, and I remember distinctly, well, the stadium looked very different in terms of the stands, but I remember hearing that no matter what part of the ground that you walked in, you could hear the radio commentary, because everyone had their transistor radios out with them, and they had it close to them, and they were listening to it. So at one point, Michael Holding had to stop to tell the umpire, and they relayed the message out, that people should turn down their radios because he was hearing himself run in. He would be running in, and he'd be hearing, here's Holding, nice run up, going into bowl. And that could be a bit disconcerting.
Wow.
Well, I said elegant run-up. It's not Tony, by the way. Here is Ali on drive here from Chase and straight to the field. There is no run.
Tony's having a hard time with video today. I don't know what video did. What Tony
And that's
did
the end of the over, by the way. And 177 for 5. Chase is zeros. Somebody was suggesting that Tony has an elegant run-up. I always knew when Tony Gray was struggling, because he would run up, he would have the ball in his left hand, and he would transfer it to the right. That's when I believe he was struggling for rhythm. For rhythm, if anything else. Well, he's making all sorts of excuses on the back. I'm sure he can tell us more about that later on.
So he'll take that opportunity.
The fans enjoying themselves out there, and a couple of fans bringing some mango chow, which I believe is going to be very popular this time in the middle of the so-called mango season.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Sajid on again. Here he is bowling to Chase, to Graves actually. He was turning this one in front of square. Ali comes around to field, and there's one run. So far to the right-handers. Sajid Khan has bowled pretty much between short of a good length and full. So he's been fairly consistent outside of the off-stump to the right-handers. To the left-handers, he's sprayed it a little bit. Maybe his control just deserting him. But these two tall right-handers, very, very similar in the way they play also. So it's going to be a little bit easier for him to maintain control. Chase, well, he thought about the single. He sent Graves back. The two Barbadians, slight miscommunication, but they're back safely in their creases. As play continues here at the Queen's Park Oval, Sajid has a quick talk with the umpire, just watches as Salman Ali Anka gets in there to the slip free. Oh, he went for the reverse sweep, Chase, and it just bubbled in the air, and what he did was he stood in between the ball and the keeper, and that, well, Rizwan wasn't going to get there anyway. Well, did that hit something? Well, that would have been interesting if he had caught it, because that Pakistanis may have thought they would have had a case for an obstruction, obstructing the field there, because Chase, when he saw the ball bobbling, he just moved across. It's academic now because he didn't really get a touch on it. The next one is a reverse sweep that goes for 4. That's the shot he was attempting the previous ball. Now gets it right, and that is a nice boundary here for the West Indies captain. 4 of 9 deliveries, 182 for 5.
What a shot to get off the mark in similar fashion to Amir Django. Sweep shot, 4 runs. Fantastic reverse sweep. I mean, Django played a conventional sweep, but here you had Captain Ruston Chase just premeditating that shot. We saw what it's supposed to look like, the delivery before, and he executed well.
Sajid to Chase. This time he's playing it more conventionally out to mid-wicket. There's no run. And Salman, who is at slip, was actually reading what was happening, because he had started to already move out towards his right. Couldn't gather it though. Chase is on driving, will get one out to long on, and he trots down to the other end, and that will end off the over. 6 runs in the over from Sajid, 183 for 5, 40 is Gray's, Chase is 5. And would you venture, would you think that maybe it's time to take Sajid off and perhaps bring on the pacer, Ubaid Shah at the other end?
Definitely a change in bowler. I don't know if I would say Shah is the bowler to come back, simply because he has not been unsung. While he got the wicket of Django earlier on up, it was a delivery lined down the line of the leg stump. And I think that he's been a bit expensive today. So I wouldn't necessarily bring Shah back.
Yeah, he has been fairly expensive, but I think you would expect that because the youngster in his first test got his first wicket and has had a mishap in the field also, just ran over one and it went past him for 4. So Ali is about to continue here. Is Ali running from the northern end past the umpire, bowling to the tall figure of Chase, plays it back down the track and there's no run, and plays very straight. To my right, Colin Murray was essaying a wonderful looking on drive, which I'm sure would have flown to the boundary.
He probably played those back in the day. I know he spoke about himself being a prolific batsman. Tony would not agree, but Colin would say he is a prolific batsman, or was a prolific batsman.
Well, Colin and Tony would cover next year, and I'm sure they'll entertain it. I don't think he'd take kindly to you saying that he was back in the day, because his career wasn't that long ago, was it?
Sorry, you make me laugh.
You make it sound that you're going to have to dig up his career with a spade. It's not back in the Jurassic period, is it? Here is Ali now bowling to Chase, and that's a good bouncer just over his right shoulder. He ducks under it and has gone out to Rizwan. We've seen a couple of bounces today, and many of them have been ill-directed. I saw one from Ali earlier, which was so short, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar could have stood up there and it would have passed over his head.
This one was well-directed. You had Chase off of his feet, and he's a tall man, so very well-directed bouncer.
Well, for younger listeners who may not know who Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is, the outstanding basketball player for the Los Angeles Lakers. Of course, younger listeners might be thinking about Victor Wembanyama, played in the NBA Finals earlier this year. And we watch the next delivery from Ali. Solidly forward to it is Chase, and there's no run. It was a very interesting period when my New York Knicks won the NBA title earlier this year.
Your New York Knicks. You're a Knicks fan?
Yes, of course. The city was, I can tell you, the city was in an absolute state of celebration for the Knicks celebration. It was something to see just before. And it happened during the World Cup final, first week. World Cup of the Football World Cup is happening at the same time. Very interesting time for the city. 183 for 5. Here's Ali now. 3 balls remaining in the over. He's into Chase, allows that to go through outside the off stump. And West Indies win the toss and batting first. They've lost 5 wickets so far. Chanderpaul caught Khan, bowled Ali for 15. Brandon King, LBW, was man for 46. Kavim Hodge caught Rizwan, bowled Khan for 10. Django caught Rizwan, bowled Shah for 26. And the last to go, Shea Hope playing one on from Ali for 29. And West Indies losing wickets at 49, 65, 91, 20, and 173. The best partnership so far has only been 53. That's the big disappointment so far for the West Indies. A lot of starts and no conversion, at least just yet. Graves would love to get a big score here at the Queen's Park Oval. He's watching from the non-striker's end as Ali is on his way to Chase. And the tall man is beaten outside the off-stump, one that fizzed past the edge and taken by Rizwan. A nice delivery on the hard length.
Oh, certainly. His speed has continued to climb as he bowled every single delivery. Started at 126 clicks. And then this one got all the way up to 132. So he's been climbing with each delivery, revving it up in terms of pace. So I'm looking for that Yorker length delivery within this over here to test Chase's defense.
Well, Tony was saying that he felt that he looked a little underdone for this match, but I think now he's starting to really get through that barrier now starting to really crank it up here. Can he find a delivery that will remove the West Indies captain? Chase, of course, will try to keep him out here. Here's Ali into Chase on the onside, plays it out to mid-on, and there is no run. A maiden over from Ali. He continues to apply the pressure at one end. Sajid at the other end has been going for some runs. The West Indies 183 for 5 at the end of the over. Colin Murray is going to come in next with Tony Gray, and after some more comments from Miss Isa.
If you are just joining us, West Indies are 183 for 5 and 55 overs completed, with Justin Graves on 40 of 64 deliveries and Chase 5 off of 17 deliveries. Pakistani team has used 4 bowlers in today's proceedings and taken 5 wickets thus far. 49 at 49, 65, 91, 120 and 175. Good evening, Colin.
Good afternoon, Kanisha. How are you?
I am fantastic now that I'm joined by you.
Yeah, you seem to be, how should I put it, before you leave, in terms of the game, evenly poised? Or I heard you say a little while ago, before Hope got out, here is Khan with his first delivery, Graves playing it out to mid-wicket, that West Indies had a slight advantage. Has it evened up with the dismissal of Hope, or you still think West Indies may just be slightly ahead?
Slight advantage, Pakistan.
Okay, very interesting. I'm going to ask Tony Gray his opinion when he comes in, as that delivery is just pitching on the leg stump, going down the leg, and Graves was looking to turn it, and he plays it. It comes off the pad and goes out towards that forward short leg. There's no run. Score is 183 for 5 as Khan into Graves, and he's turning this one just backward of square. Thinking of a single, but Ali was coming in quickly to do the fielding, and there is no run. So Khan back to the top of his mark. 12.2 overs, 1 for 34 so far. 12.3 overs, sorry. 1 for 34 as he's into Graves, and Graves is turning this one to the right of mid-wicket. He was thinking of the single, and he was about quarter way down, and Chase decided no, not to take it, not to take the risk, and Graves had to quickly go back to the safety of his crease. Tony Gray, hello again to you. I'm going to ask you the same question the way you can think of it. Kanisha says slight advantage Pakistan. Here is a delivery that Graves is playing again to Ali, who is at that short backward square leg. No run. One ball remaining in Sajid's 13th over. And bowling to Graves, who's on 40. Chase is on 5 at the non-striker's end. Here's Khan into Graves, and he's in defense, pushing that ball back up along the track. It's the end of the over, a maiden over from Sajid. He's bowled 13 overs, 1 for 34. Graves is 40. Chase is on 5. Slight advantage, Tony Gray, Pakistan?
Pakistan, I would agree with that, Colin Murray. And,
But West Indies has Graves and Chase there.
Well, I mean, since the 194 that Justin Graves have scored, Chase has scored against Sri Lanka, he struggled. So I think that if West Indies up to bat first on winning the toss, they would want to perhaps 350 at least. And in this situation here now, I think that Pakistan is on top.
Is it well? Do you think they've lost 2 wickets too many, or should it be? I mean, they've opted to bat, and they've lost 5 wickets. Is that too many? Here's Ali, however, on his way to chase, and this is outside the line of the off stump, and he's allowing it to go through to be taken by Rizwan.
I think that you have to look at Shea Hope. Shea Hope is the key, in my opinion, the best batsman on this West Indies side. Although Justin Graves have been a man that is in tremendous form.
With both bat and ball.
Yeah. I was going to say that.
Yeah.
I think that Shea Hope's wicket was very important, and they just lost it. So I think that Pakistan would be edging on top now, and it depends on their batting too, because their batting, you have to factor in everything. Their batting has been really poor.
Here is Ali on his way to Chase. He's with him now, and this one, Chase is opening the face of the bat but can't get it past Gully. There is no run. So Hope with 92 in that first innings, 10 in the second, and now 29 today. how you rate his batting performances since the 92?
Well, I think that it's been okay. It's been scratchy at times. He's been fighting. And obviously, he has had a lot of work, Colin Murray. And I talked about him being a wicketkeeper batsman in all formats of the game. That's not easy to do. So the transitional periods from format to format is hard. And I think it's wearing him down.
Well, here is Ali into Chase, and Chase is opening the face again, but finds that he can't beat the man at gully, and there's no run. So how do you compensate for his workload, Tony? Because we're hearing a lot about workload now, because not only Shai Hope, but Alzari Joseph, even though there are different types of statements coming out about Alzari Joseph. But how do you look at the workload of a Shai Hope and decide, how much cricket is too much cricket? As Ali turns at the top of his mark, starts to run into bowl to the right-handed West Indies skipper. He's with him now, and this one short, lifting, but badly lined outside the leg stump, and Chase is allowing it to go to be taken by the keeper.
Yeah, I think that when you look at Shai Hope, for example, remember he had an injury to his shoulder. Some of the balls that went down the leg side in the first test match, he didn't go after it, all right, because he was trying to be protective of that injury. I just want to talk about the workload of somebody who's a wicketkeeper batter, and then in white ball cricket, he's captain both white ball formats. So it's very difficult for him to constantly be productive because he's going to be a tired man.
Yeah.
And this is a test match scenario.
Well, here's Ali to bowl to Chase, and this is short lifting, and that may have, I was thinking, I thought he got some hit somewhere on the helmet or maybe the shoulder, but it was a last minute. Tony, that was a little bit quickish, but not only that, it was well lined.
Well, I'm surprised with this type of aggression being showed by Ali, because earlier on he looked lethargic.
Yes.
But he's gotten a second win, and that was a very good short delivery that came off the shoulder of the captain of the West Indies team. Now, we know that he struggled against Sri Lanka with short deliveries, so they would have viewed some videos
footage,
on
yeah.
that, and they come near with a game plan. But there must be somebody perhaps in front of the bat or in leg gully.
Well, Ali, new lease of life. I think since he got the wicket of Shai Hope, he's really putting in his work as he's in the Chase, and Chase is a delivery just coming into him, but he was standing tall. He's a tall man, and just pushing it back up along the track to the bowler. It's the end of the over from Ali, a maiden over again. So we had two maidens now in succession. The runs a little bit hard to come by for West Indies at the moment in this the third session on day one. Graves is 45 is Chase, 183 for 5.
I think it's about getting back in tune with things after the break. Shai Hope played a poor shot, played too far away from his body, and was out with the ball coming in from the inside edge of the bat onto the stumps. And I just think it's to recapture form and focus out there. So it's restarting process after the break.
Well, it's going to be Sajid Khan is going to continue, and he's bowling to Graves. Graves is on 40 as he's in, and Graves is turning this one. Now, when you look at the field, it's right towards that man at backward square leg. On the offside, there's a slip cover mid-off, and then on the onside, there's a long on, a short mid-wicket, a forward square leg, a leg gully, a deep backward square, and a man just backward of square. So they're covering all the bases here. Here's a delivery, he's playing out to that short mid-wicket. It's a well-set field, Tony, for the off-spinner, because he's turning the ball, but he can't be the man at that short backward square leg. He's cutting off the singles. He's got a short mid-wicket, and then he's got the deep mid-wicket if Graves decide to go over the top. Here's a quicker delivery, and Graves again coming on the back foot, but it spun into him. Hit him maybe on the top of the pad and went out on the offside.
Yeah, the only thing that he has not done here is gotten one to straighten for the slip to come into play, but he probably will want Justin Graves to play across the line of the ball and perhaps get that leading edge.
Now, runs have dried up a little bit, Tony. Could that have a psychological effect on the two batsmen? Here is Graves again pushing this one out. towards a forward short leg. He wasn't able to stop it cleanly, but it didn't go past him, and there's no run. Yeah, they haven't scored a run now for somewhere like 18 deliveries.
Well, this is good. This is good pressure by the Pakistanis to put the ball in the right areas to curtail the scoring of both batsmen.
There's a delivery that is being played down the track, and there is no run. So the score remains at 183 for 5. So Sajid back to the top of his mark from that Brian Lara pavilion end, and Graves is getting on the front foot and just works it down towards the long on position. They comfortably walk a single. So 184 for 5. Graves on to 41, brings Chase, who's on 5, back into strike.
Yeah, we've seen it time and time again in Pakistan's test match cricket. In recent times, they've not been able to seize the moment. This is a great moment for them to get another wicket because they've kept things tight, and they're bowling a fast bowler from this end, the commentary end, in Shah. So the youngster has to come back. But he has to have the mindset. All this is his first game, and he's gotten that wicket of Amir Django strangled down the leg side. He has to come back with a mindset to not only bowl fast, right, but he has to come back with the mindset to keep things tight because he doesn't want to release the pressure. These are the key moments of the game, Colin Murray.
Well, there is a change in bowling because Ubaid Shah is back into the attack. 1 for 41 from 7 overs. Now, Tony, that run that Graves scored, it's the first run in 24 balls, so you can understand the pressure that was being exerted. Ali has gone off the field, so he's been replaced in terms of substitute fielders come on. But here is Ubaid, and this one, Graves is driving pleasantly straight back on the onside. That's a really good shot, and Ubaid they've said to him, well, welcome back, Mr. Ubaid Shah. And that delivery, it was sort of just maybe angled into Graves, Tony, and didn't make all that much height. But what was lovely about it was a straight bat and going up on the onside of the pitch down to it would have been a straight mid-on. There's no one there, and 4 runs.
That's an excellent shot, opening back the front foot and just pushing bat onto the ball, really timing it quite well to get 4 runs.
Well, here is Shah on its way again to bowl to Graves, and this time Graves is opening the face of the bat. They go through for a quick single. That's very good running because he was opening the face of the bat and just guiding it to the right of gully. It seemed that Chase called for the run, and he responded quickly. Graves got up to the non-striker's end, and they complete a single. Graves on to 46, 189 for 5.
And this is what will happen, Colin Murray, if you decide to take the pressure and work through the pressure. You're going to get some deliveries that you can score off of. And the youngster, that's 20 years old, in his first test match here at the Queen's Park Oval, will bowl some bad deliveries. So this is an opportunity when the bad deliveries come to score off of them.
Well, here is Shah, goes past the umpire, short and lifting, and Ruston Chase just stood up to it, and he was trying to guide it past the man at point, but couldn't get past him, and there is no run. Very interesting, Tony. Somebody sent me earlier this morning the top 20 leading run scorers in West Indies cricket, and there is no place for any of the players that play for West Indies now, which is extremely interesting. But here is Shah at the top of his mark, starts to run in to bowl to the right-handed Chase, and this time angled on the pads, and he turns it down to the deep backward square leg position, and they take an easy single. 190 for 5. Of course, the man with most runs for West Indies in Test cricket, for West Indians in Test cricket, of course, at the top of the list is Brian Lara. And some interesting names: Chanderpaul, Viv Richards, Sir Garfield Sobers, Gordon Greenwich, Sir Clive Lloyd, Desmond Haynes, Chris Gale, Rohan Kanai. Craig Brathwaite is in at number 10 with 5,950 runs, and it's Richie Richardson, Ramney Rissau, and Carl Hooper. But we look at Shah on his way to bowl to Graves, and he's punching this one to cover. He can't get the run. And you've got Carl Hooper, Everton Weeks, Alvin Calichan, Roy Fredericks. Marlon Samuels is there at 17, Sir Frank Worrell, Clyde Walcott. And would you believe, at number 20, Darren Bravo.
Oh.
Yeah, with...
surprising.
Yeah, 3,538 runs.
How many test matches or innings?
Yeah, well, 102. But he's... I was a little surprised. And you know, when you look back at Darren Bravo's career, Tony, it was cut short with a lot of controversy. Here is a delivery that's short and lifting, and Graves is playing it out towards mid-on, and there is no run. It's the end of the over from Shah. At the end of it, Graves is 46, Chase is on 6, it's 190 for 5, and Ubaid Shah has just completed his 8 overs, 1 for 47. Well, time for a hydration break, Tony, because the drinks guys are coming onto the field, and Pakistan are going to get themselves refreshed. But 190 for 5 at the moment.
Yeah, and I think this is where Pakistan might run into trouble. We don't know what will happen in the near future, but you have Ali, Shah, Usman and Khan, 4 main bowlers. And you know that Ali has worked tremendously hard. He's off the field now. And you have Shah as the other bowler. So he's young into international cricket and specifically test match cricket. So are they going to be able to consistently put pressure on these two batsmen with the young man Shah bowling at this point in time? I mean, he's gone for 47 runs. He's gotten 1 wicket, but his economy rate is 5.87, so that's expensive in this format.
You have to give Pakistan a lot of credit, though, Tony, because the last hour they've only been 25 runs scored and 1 wicket. So it tells you that they've decided to tighten up things, make runs difficult to come by. Not very many loose balls are being sent down to the West Indian batsmen.
Yeah, this is the ebbs and flows of test match cricket, and you have to be able to play through all circumstances, all situations. And both batsmen have set already a way of rhythm. They've been out there for a while. Justin Grace has to take up the mantle of trying to rotate stride, because Ruston Chase is not a man that is in tremendous form, and he would want to face most of the deliveries. Not that he's farming Ruston Chase, the captain of the West Indies team, but just to get him into form by running between the wickets.
Yeah, and it's always good when you think about it. Graves has faced 80 deliveries for 46, so it's not a matter of, as you said, farming, but I think it's always good if the batsman that is in form, is batting well, to take most of the strike, because it's sometimes you're at a non-striker's end, Tony, and it's just as good as being at the striker, because you're learning at the non-striker's end. You're seeing what the bowlers are doing, you're seeing the pitch, the bounce and the pace of the pitch, etc. So there's nothing wrong with Graves taking a little bit more of the bowling, because certainly when you do that, it simply means that it's giving the opportunity to the other batsman to get settled in.
Yeah, and conversing between the wickets, saying, listen, you got to take your time, watch how your feet is going at the moment, and what's the shots that you're playing, taking on certain bowlers, analyzing things out there. So partnership batting is not just about running between the wickets and developing a partnership. It's really about helping your partner, conversing with him, trying to guide him along, because that's exactly what happened with Ruston Chase and Amir Django when they had that record-breaking feat of 401, 6 wickets.
Incredible partnership, Tony Gray.
Yeah, but these things happen. You know, Ruston Chase was, under the gun a lot because of the fact that he's taken up the captaincy of the West Indies team against Australia, India, and then New Zealand. It's not easy starting as a captain, making that transition. Now, he had the most stressors out of all the players because he had to come back into Test match cricket after being away for a while, and then he has to captain the West Indies team and trying to play and be competitive against the Australians, the Indians, and the New Zealanders.
Well, it's Sajid is going to continue as it's Graves, no chase is the man back on strike, 190 for 5. Yes, Tony?
Yeah, when you look at Ruston Chase, he bats better when he's looking for runs. Even when he's playing T20 cricket, we've seen him with St. Lucia Kings. To me, he goes after the ball and with some confidence, he bats better. His movement is better, his technique is better. So he's got to wake up here. I think that he's too lazy. As well played.
Sajid into chase, and he's pushing this one down to long on, and they pick up an easy single. So chase goes to 7, and they total on to 191 for 5, brings Graves back into strike.
Yeah, somebody like Ruston Chase, after a break, he needs to wake up a little bit more because he can go into much more of a lazy mood, and that's how soft dismissals come about.
Well, Graves looks around at the field. Very interesting now. They've even strengthened that catching position on the onside because they've taken out the man. Here's a delivery that he's pushing out to mid-wicket. So there's on the offside, they slip, cover, mid-off. And then on the onside, there's a short fine leg, a forward short leg, a short mid-wicket as Graves is playing this ball out to the man at short mid-wicket. Then there's a long on, a mid-wicket and a deep square leg. Nice field, Tony. I like the field because you've got beside the slip, you've got 2 catchers on the onside, and then you've got protection out in the deep at a long off and a deep square leg. Here is Graves turning that ball. We've seen this so many times. He's turning it towards the man at that short fine leg position.
Yeah, what I like about him is his discipline. He's not looking to play through the offside square of the wicket because they have left that position open for him to risk playing in that square cut.
Here's a delivery. He's going to get a single this time because he's turning it more towards a square leg position, and the man at that short mid-wicket had to run around to his right to do the fielding. And they pick up an easy single. So one more to the total, and that goes to 192 for 5, and brings Ruston Chase, the West Indies captain, back on strike. He's on 7 from the 26 deliveries. As this one gives him some air, and Chase hitting it in the air but away from the man at that short mid-wicket position. It went to his right. It seemed to be catchable at the point in time, Tony, but it was always going down, and I don't think he was able to get down in time to take that catch, so they pick up one more run. So Chase goes to, let's see, 8, and at the end of the over, 193 for 5.
Well, Chase is about 6'2". He has to utilize that height, that stride forward. You've seen it with Justin Grave. He covers the off stump very well, but he reaches forward to negate spin. And Chase is a tall man. He's got to get out to the ball to negate spin and not wait on the ball to come to him to play it uppishly. So when you wait on the ball, when you should get out to it, the bottom hand can come into play. So he's got to be careful there with the field placing as it is at the moment.
Well, Shah is going to continue, and he's going to be bowling to the West Indies captain, Ruston Chase. So it's they just making for some adjustments to the field.
Well, deep backward square and a man on the square boundary. So they're trying the short deliveries, it looks like. And he doesn't want to be too predictable here, Shah.
So here is Shah. This is short, but badly lined outside the line of the legs. I mean, maybe Tony looking for that little bit of extra pace.
Yeah, but he's trying the short deliveries to Ruston Chase, and Ruston Chase has shown that he is not playing the short deliveries well. I'm not thinking that he's mobile enough. He's not getting inside the line of the ball. He's getting hit a lot of the times. He has an injury to his finger because of that. So he's got to improve, and he's looking wrong to see what exactly the field placing is, and I think that's good.
Well, we'll give you that field after this delivery. It's here is another short delivery, and Chase is just allowing a signal wide by the umpire. So that was short. It was outside the line of the off stump, and really and truly, Chase didn't have much to do with it. signal a wide. So let's see, there's no slip in place. There's a third man, a gully, pretty straight gully. Then there's a point, a cover. So that's what? Let's see, 4 men on the offside. And then on the onside, there is a mid-wicket, a forward square leg, a deep square leg right out on the boundary, a man backward of square, 3/4 way, and then a man at the fine leg. And this is short, and Chase stands up tall to it, and he just spanks it to the right of mid-on. He had absolutely no chance, but that was too short, and it said to Chase, basically, come on, hit me. He stood up and he hit it sweetly to the right of mid-on, down to the boundary for 4. Score goes to 198 for 5 now. Chase is into double figures.
Yeah, I think
He's
it's
on
bad
12.
captaincy. Bad captaincy here. You have a guy who's 20 years old. He's in his first test match. The pitch is really not conducive to fast bowling, pounding the ball all of the times into the turf. And he has become predictable. That's an excellent shot by Chase. Into line very quickly, expecting that type of delivery and spanking it through the mid-wicket area for 4 runs.
198 for 5. He's come round the wicket now. So he's interesting as Shah into Chase, and another short delivery, and Chase is pulling it down to the fine leg position, and they pick up a single. There is protection out there in the deep, so Chase goes to 13. As a matter of fact, this is Chase's highest score in the series so far. Tony, when you look back at Chase, he had 10 in the first innings, was out to Abbas, and then in the second innings he went for 8. So 10 and 8 in the first test, but here he's much better off.
The perception of the young man is that he has to pound every ball into the turf, and Babar Azam now having a word with him, and you are telling the young man just to be ultra aggressive by your field placing, and not to bowl that off stump line or attack the stumps. Bring all the moves of dismissal into play. So this is awful captaincy.
Well, here is Shah into Graves this time, and he pushes it to mid-on. They have to hurry. He does. That's a good run in the end, because it was pushed towards Azan Awais, who is feeling at that maybe a whitish mid-on, and Chase was playing it to his right. He hustled across, but Chase called for the single, and they got home easily in the end. So 1 more to the total, which means that the 200 is now up, 200 for 5. Graves continues to bat well here. He's on 48.
Yeah, this is excellent batting by Graves again, playing that ball well on top of the bunks and working the ball for 1 run. So boundaries are coming during this period, and the singles are coming also.
Well, here is Shah into Chase, and another short delivery, and he's pulling it down to the man at the fine leg position, and they go through for an easy single. So Chase goes to 14, 201 for 5.
What you want from the young man, Shah, is to be disciplined. Line and length, go back to line and length, and then try the short ball as a surprise weapon. The element of surprise would be better against Ruston Chase than just pounding all the balls into the turf.
Well, Graves is back on strike. He's on 48, looking to get his 50. As Shah on its way to bowl to the right hand, and he's hitting it towards mid-on. This time he'll have to hurry, and boy, he gets home. Now, he was taking the chance. He played it a little bit more firmly towards Azan Awais at that wideish mid-on, and as he hit it, he ran very quickly to get the single, and they were able to get 1 run. So Graves is on to 49. Now he really had to moto Tony for that single. I wonder if he's done some damage to himself, because he is standing at the non-striker's end, or which will now be the striker's end. And I'm just thinking that maybe it might. I'm seeing a pair of boots coming out, so he hasn't done any damage to himself, I don't think, but we'll wait and see. 49 he is. It's 202 for 5. I don't know what you make of that.
Yeah, it's a risky run to begin with. I mean, he played it well technically, but it was too hard towards the man at the mid-on position, so it was a risky run. He doesn't need to take that risk, but I think that he has injured himself here, and he was holding the top part of his thigh, so we'll have to wait and see, but it doesn't look good. And this is something that the West Indies team cannot afford at this point in time, because he's the man that has been motoring along very well. He's now on,
49.
49, one more for his half century, and it seems to be in some serious discomfort here. The physio is out there, and it's not good news for the West Indies team.
Well, let's hope that it's nothing too serious. Maybe could it be a little bit of cramp? Maybe I'm not sure because we're not out there and hearing any conversations of what's happening. But let's hope, Tony, from a West Indian perspective, that it's not too serious.
Yeah, and he's had a lot to do in this series. He's had a lot to do in the Sri Lankan series. He's played some white ball cricket for the West Indies team, so he's had a lot to do in the recent 2 months or so, and he's an all-rounder, and when you're all-rounder in all formats of the game, you need to really be tremendously fit. But he's had some injury concerns, and this is really concerning for the West Indies team at the moment.
Well, he only got to 15 and 20 in the first test match, and he must have been disappointed with that. But his bowling certainly made up for that, because when you think of his bowling in that first test match, 5 for 27 in 11 overs, and then 2 for 12 in 5 overs. He had basically 7 wickets for 37 runs in that game against Pakistan. Here, he's gone on a little bit from the scores in that first test to 49 not out, and it would really be a pity, Tony, if he has to come off or if he's injured, done damage to himself, that he might not even be able to continue in the game.
Yeah,
so let's hope from West Indian perspective it's not that case.
You talk about partnerships, but you want individual performances too, and he is heading towards a half century, and if he can get a century, if he's fit enough to get a century or more, it will mean that the West Indies team will cement a good total. And we know that the Pakistanis have been, really poor with their batting, and it's a concern for them too. But this is a key moment of the game, and you're looking at the substitute fielders around him and the physiotherapist working very hard. The umpire is also there, so this doesn't look good at all, Colin Murray.
No, it doesn't. They're still working on him, so I don't want to form an opinion until he gets up and we see what's happening. But the umpire is there, umpire Kettleborough. He is there together with the West Indian substitute fielders and the physio.
He's out there long on the ground, and it tells me that it's much more serious than we think it is. It's not a little niggle.
But I'm not sure, Tony. I don't know if you saw it. It looked they've put some strapping on the leg. So again, I'm not 100% sure. But
what has to happen here? The physio has to analyze things really, because we don't want him to get further injured.
That's right. Do
in
more
this
damage.
situation, because you still have 4 days to go after this one, and he is a man that is very important where the West Indies efforts are concerned to win this test match,
especially in the bowling department, because somehow he's I don't know what he's done different, but he was almost unplayable, Tony, in that first test match against Pakistan.
Yeah, but people are talking about the pitch, Colin Murray, and we are so much accustomed to flat pitches in the Caribbean, flat pitches overall in world cricket, I must admit, that we sometimes overthink things when it comes to movement of the seam and that sort of thing. And when the fast bowlers have some help, and a lot of these batters now, they stay leg side of the ball because of the T20 scenario. So I just think it was excellent bowling, but I think coupled with poor technique.
Well, here is Sajid to continue, as he is just trying to make some changes to the field. There's a slip point mid-off, and then on the onside there's that forward short leg, a man at short fine leg, a very short mid-wicket, then the orthodox mid-wicket, a deep square leg, and a man at long on. So we got a few 1, 2, 3 players in catching positions just in case Graves doesn't get over the ball. Here is Sajid into Graves, and he's turning this delivery. He seemed to hit the body of the man at forward short leg.
Is that a very short mid-wicket?
Yeah.
All right, and he's in line with the guy at the long-on boundary.
Here is Sajid into Graves, and he's pushing this one out, and in front of him, coming off more of the inner part of the bat, and goes out towards that forward short leg, and there's no run.
Yeah, they're trying to stop the single and at the same time maybe catch the ball if it's played uppishly there. So it's a position that can do two things.
This one turning into Graves, and that was not all that full, but it was a slightly short, but not short enough for Graves to pull it. What he did was turn the delivery to the right of mid-wicket. He was thinking if it could have gone past him, they would have been able to get some runs, but was well fielded and no run. This time Graves is forward, so he's one away from his 50, and they really runs are hard to come by, Tony, and you can feel that Graves is looking for that, at least a single to get to his 50. As this time he's turning it. Chase is thinking of it, but it's not on. Chase was thinking, he was quarter way up the pitch, Tony, when you went, oh my, but he quickly heard you, and he turned around and went back to the safety of his crease. One delivery left in this over from Sajid, as he's into Graves, and Graves is opening the face. That's his 50, but you could see him struggling. He doesn't seem to be running at full pace. Tony, watch at him. He's jogging. He's jogging 2 runs, but that's his 50 as he opened the face of the bat, guided it towards a short third man, and was able to pick up 2 runs. So he is on to 50 now, Justin Graves. He is on 51, and that is his second 50 at the test level. He scored 300s. Amazingly, Tony, he's got more hundreds than 50s, but this is his second 50. But I was looking at him run there, Tony, and he seemed to be struggling. He wasn't going at full pace, and even the second run, he was jogging coming back. So it's a little bit of a concern. 204 for 5. Graves is 51.
Yeah, I just think the crowd here appreciates that 50 because it's a fighting 50, and you know, you need to see that outside there. Now he's injured, and Roston Chase must be mindful of that. He was going for a quick single just now. That wasn't on at all. The guy is injured. So he's got to be changing that mentality to run fast between the wickets and just to try to relax out there.
Well, a change in the bowling as Usman is back into the attack, and he is replacing Shah, and his first delivery in his 21st over is being pushed right back up along the track to the bowler, and there is no run. All sorts of delicacies. I went down to the Carib stand, Tony, walking through, and I saw all sorts of delicacies. Mango chow and pineapple chow. I know some of those things.
You didn't buy anything.
No,
for
I
us.
didn't, Tony.
Vidya Ramphal here. He likes chow.
I wasn't sure you wanted that. You know, I didn't want to
never
upset
sure
you.
about anything.
I didn't think you might have upset your stomach. There's a delivery that an appeal goes up for a court behind, as Usman is just tossing it up. Chase playing forward. The ball seemed to beat the outside edge. Babar Azam is not interested in going for the review. Rizwan seemed very confident, but Usman didn't, and so they allowed the play to continue, and the ball goes back to Usman. 204 for 5 as he is round the wicket to the right-handed Chase, and he's long forward. Ball coming off the inner part of the bat and goes out to that forward short leg, and there is no run.
Yeah, this is a good start or restart for the spin bowler, and that ball spun tremendously away from him.
The one that they appealed for
the
caught
outside
behind.
edge of the bat.
Well, here is Usman into Chase, and this time angled into Chase, and he's looking to pull a delivery. No appeal going up because he must have been maybe taking it from outside the line of the off stump, but he was looking to pull it, and no appeal or anything like that. But there's no run. Score remains on 204 for 5 as Chase settles again, waits on Usman, who is with him, giving this one some here outside the line of the off stump, and Chase is driving but can't beat Babar Azam, who is at that wide, well, more of an extra cover, but it was hit to his right. and he got across quickly, stopped it from going past him. It's the end of the over, a maiden over from Usman, who's come back into the attack. It's now 204 for 5, and just Justin Graves on 51, Tony, from 92 balls.
Yeah, I love the fact that Usman could come back for a second spell and just from the first over be consistent. That's great for his captain. But you look at Roston Chase and the way he's prodding forward, and the ball is beating the outside edge of the bat. He's got to be careful there now. Sometimes he gets in the mood of just playing down a straight line rather than going towards the ball to cover the movement of the ball. Oh, that's a good delivery. And Shadid would be very upset with the effort there for his captain in that leg gully position. And ball spun a little bit.
Was it?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it went to his left, but Rizwan seemed to be disappointed. But here's Graves just working this ball down towards a long on. Was on the front foot, and it's a flick of the wrist, getting it down to that long on position, and they jog through for the single. So I don't know, Tony, if in the previous delivery Babar Azam seemed to be up a little too early, but here is Sajid into Chase, and he's forward. Chase playing it back to the bowler, and there's no run. Score remains 205 for 5.
Yeah, I think they have to put pressure on Justin Graves to stop that single and perhaps have the man at that short mid-wicket position a little straighter, just so that he will try something different and not get that easy single down the wicket.
Well, here is a delivery that pushed through by Sajid. And boy, did he get the bat down on time, because I tell you what, if he didn't, I think there would have been an appeal that would have been heard all the way to San Fernando.
Yeah, that would have been hitting him on the middle and leg.
Was it?
Middle and leg.
Yeah.
But he got the bat down in
just
quick
in time. Here is a delivery that is being pushed out on the offside, and there is no run. Score remains on 205 for 5. Chase is on 14. Graves, the non-striker, is on 52. As this delivery is spinning into Chase, and he's pushing it out to mid-wicket. It's the end of the over. It's 205 for 5, and since tea, they've added just 40 runs, because at tea it was 165 for 4. They've added, West Indies have added 40 runs, but they've lost the wicket, the key wicket of Hope, who went bowled by Ali for 29. But it's good, tight, absorbing cricket at Tony Gray. And session 1, you look at the various sessions, the 116 runs in session 2, but the West Indies lost 3 wickets. But it's been tight cricket, Tony, and a good, as you would say, good absorbing test cricket.
And that's what they call it, test cricket, because there are moments like this where you have to fight through.
Graves back on strike. He's on 52. As Usman is into him, and Graves is long forward, the ball coming off the inner part of the bat and just trickling out towards forward short leg, and there is no run. Score remains on 205 for 5. There's Graves on 52, and it's batted well. It's the only batsman to get a half century for the West Indies, and he's forward and looking to push a delivery out towards cover. The ball spun away from him. Wicketkeeper Rizwan takes the bails off, but luckily for Graves, his back foot was well grounded. And but again, a delivery from Usman spinning away from the right-hander.
Yeah, beautiful bowling. It was slower, it was more flighted, it was a different line just outside the off stump. It was beautiful bowling. It got the ball to bounce and turn away from the batsman.
Well, here is Usman into giving air again, but this time pitching a little bit outside the line of the off stump, so it gave Graves the opportunity to just have a look at it and allowed it to go through to be taken by Rizwan.
It's excellent ball, and you've seen different types of deliveries from him.
And this is much better. I thought, Tony, when he started earlier today, he was sort of one-dimensional, just pushing it through. Now he's showing his vast variety of deliveries, as this one is pushed out to Babar Azam at cover, and there is no run. So 4 dot balls so far What do you like so far, Tony, about the West Indies innings as we look at Usman on his way to bowl to the right-handed Graves? And this time on the back foot. Well, I tell you, it was a quicker delivery. He went on the back foot and he came down on it just in time. But you could see the Pakistan players were about to maybe put in the appeal because he went on the back foot. There's a little bit of bounce and he played it well in the end. But I tell you what, it was a risky type of shot him to play, to be going on the back foot to Usman. Usman with his final delivery of this over. He's into Graves, and Graves is pushing this one out in front of him. It's the end of the over. At the end of it, Graves is 52, Chase is 14, 205 for 5. What in particular, is there anything you appreciated about the West Indian batting today?
Well, I mean the effort there, because the bowling has been sometimes consistent. Look at this situation with Usman bowling 2 maidens. Excellent bowling, putting the pressure on Justin Graves, and he was there. 1 or 2 deliveries passing the outside edge of the bat, but he was there fighting through. So I like the fight, but the fight has to be more prolonged.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be Sajid. He's going to continue. 1 for 41 from 17 overs. And 205 for 5. So Chase faces up to Sajid, and he's pushing this one back up along the track to the bowler. There is no run. You look at the Pakistan bowling. Just 4 bowlers used today, Tony. Mohammad Ali, 2 for 49 from 17. As we break a minute, as we look at Sajid into Chase, and Chase looking to flick this one, but straight towards the man at that forward short leg. There's no run. So Ali, 17 overs, 5 maidens, 2 for 49. Shah, 9 overs, no maidens, 1 for 56. Ali Usman, 22 overs, 5 maidens, 1 for 48 as Sajid is into Chase, and he's playing this one out to the deep mid-wicket position, and they go through for a single. So 1 more to Chase. He's on to 15, 206 for 5. And Sajid is in his 17th over, 17.3 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 43.
Yeah, you look at him, he needs to flight 1 or 2 deliveries, get them driving at the ball to open up that front foot.
Well, Graves is not going to drive at this one because it was angled on the pads, and he's just working it out to the deep mid-wicket, so not taking any chances, just pushing the ball around, and he gets a single. He goes to 53, the total on to 207 for 5. At this point in time, Tony, 207 for 5. It's just about what, 5 to 5. Here is a delivery that Chase is playing out to long on, and they get a single. Why are you laughing?
A sarcastic applause from the fans, because
they
they're saying
want
that
some
he's too stagnant in his approach. But that's not bad, because the runs are coming from the other end, so he's waiting on things to happen there, but he's supporting his batting partner.
208 for 5, the final delivery of this over from Sajid. 3 runs so far from it, and Graves is working this one, but can't be working it out towards mid-wicket. Just you could see as that ball came into him, he was just flicker the wrist trying to get it past mid-wicket, was not able to do that. It's the end of the over from Sajid. 18 overs, 1 for 44. Graves is 53. 16 is Chase. At 208 for 5, Tony Gray, 66 overs have been bowled. What is your expected score now? Put on that, let me see your glasses. No, you're not. Put on something and give me a score.
I think that the West Indies team will be happy with 350.
So, and question, do you think they can get 350?
Yeah, I think so. I think that when you look at Justin Graves, obviously he's incapacitated somewhat with the injury. You look at Ruston Chase, they're being disciplined out there, they're working through things, but the pitch has spun a little bit more now, so it's getting a little bit more abrasive.
Yeah, well, Usman is going to continue, and this one driven by Chase. That's a nice shot, as it was given some air, and he was driving it sweetly down to long off, and they pick up a single. 209 for 5. Does this pitch have anything for the faster bowlers?
Well, initially with the new ball, you're talking about guys who are quicker than the Pakistanis and more consistent, Jaden Seals and company, Sharma Joseph. I think that you will have something with the new ball.
Well, here is Usman. give him some air, and Graves long forward. The ball comes off the outer part of the bat and just rolls out towards point. There is no run. But it could turn out again, Tony, to be a close test match, isn't it? Especially when you look at the first innings. Remember, in the first test, West Indies got to 311, Pakistan to 282. Here is a delivery that Graves goes onto the back foot and pushes it out in front of him on the onside. Could we see that type of scenario?
Yeah, maybe, but I'm concerned with Pakistan's low order batting. It's not been able to muster 100 runs.
Yeah. Well, they've moved the man from that forward short leg, and they've put him towards a silly point position, and he's going to get a single because a tumbling stop there at backward point, but that ball ran off the face of the bat, went down towards where a third man would be, a short third man, and the man at backward point had to run around quickly to his left and to do the fielding, and they pick up a single. And that was Sajid Khan himself at that backward point position as Usman is in to chase, and that's a lovely delivery. And they were thinking of the single, but Graves is not interested. Tony, that ball pitched and turned a little bit, and Chase didn't seem to either come forward or go. He sort of stood there, and the ball hit the outside of the bat.
Inclined to bowl those sort of deliveries. You got Brandon King out playing across the line of the ball with that delivery, and he had Shea Hope in some problems, so he's inclined to bowl that type of wicket-taking delivery.
Well, here is Usman again. Quicker delivery, and just going outside the line of the leg stump as Chase was looking to flick it. Didn't make contact, and the ball hits him on the pad. It's the end of the over from Usman. He is now 23 overs, 1 for 50. Graves is 54. Chase is on 17. And I would think Sajid is going to continue.
When you look at the state of the pitch and you think about the game into the future, the near future, and the third day and fourth day, this pitch is going to get worse for batting, and the spinners will come in more and more into play. So the decision to bat first and win in the toss was a good decision.
Well, it's going to be Graves is going to face up to the bowling of Sajid.
Yeah,
they've gone back with that leg gully, so they're sort of mixing it up. The leg gully and forward short leg. Here's Sajid into Graves, and he's pushing it out just to the right of the mid-wicket position, no run.
But all right, you have a leg all in place, and it's good because the ball is turning somewhat, but he's not getting the ball to bounce. So it really depends on a poor shot by Justin Graves if they are to get this wicket.
Here's Sajid into Graves, and he's long forward. And there is no run. You get the impression, though, that Graves, Tony, I wouldn't like to say he's shut up shop, but it gives me the impression that he's trying to just play out the rest of the afternoon and not take any chances, any risks. He hasn't played an attacking shot for a while. And this one he's turning, but can't beat the man at Ali, he falls over in stopping that ball. He had to run to his left from a short, fine leg towards a forward square leg. And he was tumbling over, and still the batsman didn't take the single. So Sajid from that Brian Lara Pavilion end is in, giving this one a little bit of air, and Graves is on the front foot. Plays it out towards the man at that mid-wicket position. That is Abdullah. There is no run. Score remains on 210 for 5. As this one, Graves is turning it, but again, straight to the man there at that backward point. So far in this session, Tony, tell you how tough it's been. 20.5 overs have been bowled, and just 45 runs have been scored.
Excellent bowling by the Pakistanis, and those runs really came off the young Shah.
Yeah. Well, here is a field change. No, not really. They just adjusted the man at that backward square leg, just saving a single. As into Graves, and Graves pulling this one. That's going to have the first real attacking shot we've seen for a while, but it deserved the treatment. That's 4 runs because it was short and he was pulling that delivery. It was a really good shot, but it was a poor delivery from Sajid, and it deserved the treatment it got. 1 for 48 now from 19. Graves is 58 from 111 balls, 17 is Chase, and it's a 214 for 5. And Tigray, I am taking my leave because Vidya and Kanisha, they are getting ready. You can see them. I know Kanisha was a fast bowler. I'm not sure about Vidya. He gave me the impression he's more of a slow, gentle little off spinner.
Yes, something like you, Colin Murray.
Tony Gray, you're going to make me stay on now.
No,
you're going to make me
please.
stay on.
Bye.
When you say things like that, you upset me gravely. Okay? But I'm going to hand over to Vidya after some more comments from you.
Yeah, it's a brilliant half century by Justin Graves. He's done it in quick time. And in fact, he's had to fight through some tough moments, but he's out there fighting through some pain to Vidya Ramphal. He's had a slight injury to the upper thigh, but he's still out there for the West Indies team.
Yeah, he certainly has been fighting away. Thanks very much to Tony and Colin. Next delivery outside the off stump, and this is played elegantly through the extra cover region for 4. That's Ruston Chase just using it high, getting over that ball, which was spinning away from him, and played it nicely through that extra cover region for a boundary. Chase on to 21, 218 for 5, the West Indies. Usman just a bit too short that time, and Chase using the crease very well to step back and knock that through the gap. A slip in place. Silly point also in there as we watch Usman into Chase, forward to it, plays it past the fielder in front of him, and Babar Azam picks up in that extra cover region. There's a cover and a backward point, long on, long off, backward square leg, mid wicket and a mid on for Ali Usman, the left-arm orthodox spinner, into the side for his second game. Goes for a big shot that he smears into the onside, and that could go for 4. It has gone for a boundary. Well, it wasn't the most controlled shot, Kanicha. Isaac, he sort of swung at that rather agriculturally, I have to say, and that one, a bit lucky to get that one behind square for 4.
Chase is on the move. That's back-to-back boundaries, 25 or 51 deliveries, and he's taken off the helmet, and I noticed he started to play a little bit more fluently.
Well, in addition, we've seen a boundary from Graves in the last over and 2 in this one. So all of a sudden, after looking as though they were setting up shop, they've decided to go after the bowling. 222 for 5, and this one's down the leg side, taken by Rizwan. Chase missed out on that completely. There's no run. We're on to the double Nelson. So I see, is that your left foot up there, Kanisha?
A double Nelson. I'll tell you, this is the first I've heard of the double Nelson.
Well, 111 is the Nelson, and just looking back on the replay of that shot from Chase, just got it off the toe end of the bat. Now he's on driving, more conventional shot, straight to Ali. There's no run. Yeah, the 111, the Nelson, and of course 222, the double Nelson, and as he go on, triple Nelson, quadruple, quintuple, and I don't know beyond that. But the game has reached a point here where nearing closing time, as Chase flicks it to the right of mid-wicket and picks up 1, and he will move on to 26, 223 for 5, and that has brought us to the end of the over. 9 runs off that Usman over, 223 for 5. Chase 26 and Graves 58. Graves getting his second test match 50. Now get this, he has 300s and 150 so far. The previous 3 out of the 4 times he's gotten to 50, he's taken it past 100.
I think we're on course for yet another one of those Justin Graves show. I think that's fantastic, and that single brought up the 50-run partnership between Chase and Graves. The flurry of boundaries just pushed the score up to 223 for 5. Just as you mentioned, when it looked like they were closing up shop, winding down, all of a sudden there's a bit of impetus in the batting, and I like this for the West Indies team, as they currently are 222 for 5.
Satchid to Chase, and he's flicking this through mid-wicket. This has a chance to get to the boundary. The field is after it and pulls it in just in front of the ropes. And that's another good shot there from Chase, getting onto the back foot and just punching it through the gap from the bowling of Sajid. In the meantime, the West Indies move on to 225 for 5. The floodlights have come on. Remember, we did have a long interruption earlier today due to rain. Here's Sajid into chase. Forward to it, plays it back to the bowler. There's no run. So we are going overtime now. Already 7 minutes, and we could go. We are anticipated, at least the umpires want to go all the way up to 6 o'clock. Sajid to Chase. Looking to flick that one away. It balloons in the air, and Chase is forced to kick it away with his size 12s. Well, Chase is asking for something here. Well, I think it may have hit him in the face here. That ball may have actually hit something and hit him on the chin, and he may have actually, on the lip actually. So I think there's some blood there. In fact, I'm looking at the monitor right now, Kanisha, there is some blood. So, of course, he has to be treated according to the rules.
Oh, definitely. And just as he took off the helmet, we see Ralphie sprinting on with his broom and scoop to sweep up Chase. Just got a little bit of a cut. The seam would have done a bit of damage. That one rose on him a little. Yeah,
the head groundsman there, well, not the head groundsman, but ahead of everyone, Ralphie racing on with his broom. The hairline is chased a little bit from that video that we saw. So at the water break, 225 for 5. At the last drinks break an hour ago, it was 190 for 5. So the West Indies have added 35 runs in the last hour, and they haven't lost a wicket. Previously, they got 25 runs in the hour before that. So 60 runs in the last hour. Not bad going for the West Indies.
Not bad going. The game has ebbed and flowed for both sides. At one point in time, Pakistan, I would say, was in the ascendancy, bowling very tight during that initial period where they restricted the West Indies batsman ability to score. But credit to Justin Greaves and Captain Ruston Chase, they absorbed the pressure, and now they have started to transfer that back onto Pakistan, who seem just a little bit tired in this afternoon session. I would say the last couple of overs, we saw some loose deliveries versus previously where we saw quite a lot of maidens.
Yeah, there were quite a few maidens. In fact, looking at how the runs have come up throughout the day for the West Indies, the first 50 coming up of only 61 balls. That's the fastest we've seen through the entire series so far. No 50 has come up faster in this series. But then after that, the next 50 took 109 balls as Pakistan started to pull things back. The third 50, that's the West Indies getting to 150, took a further 153 balls. That's the period where Pakistan were really on top and taking wickets, keeping the runs down. And then between 150 and 200, the West Indies took 102 balls to get there. Now, with this flurry of shots in the last couple of overs, West Indies now starting to put a little bit of distance between themselves. Now, this partnership, as you mentioned, up to 50. Finally, can this go beyond 50? We've had beyond, much beyond it, because we've had two partnerships so far, 49 and 53, the best for the West Indies. They really need a big partnership here, and this might be the very last chance to get it.
I definitely agree with you. And the only concern I would have is this little break could shift the balance in Pakistan's favor. Now, it's a couple of minutes, let's say a half hour, 45 minutes of play left. And you have a break where Ruston Chase was on the charge, scoring fluently. Now you have to reset. I don't know if he's going to call for the helmet or if he's going to persist with the cap. And that can change the complexity of the balance of things right now. One of the notable things to mention as well, there has not been a no ball for the day.
Yeah, that's a big improvement. Well, Pakistan were a bit guilty of that in the last game. So far, so good. And in terms of the extras, 13, 4 byes, 7 leg byes, and just the 2 wides. And both of those were really wides where the ball was really pounded in and too far above the head of the batters to really interest them in any way. So the scorecard so far for the West Indies: Chanderpaul caught Khan, bowled Ali for 15. Brandon King, LBW Usman for 46. Hodge caught Rizwan, bowled Khan for 10. Amir Jangu caught Rizwan, bowled Shah for 26. Sheho bowled by Ali for 29. Ali has been the pick of the bowlers so far. 225 for 5. Greaves not out on 58 and Chase not out on 28. Mohammad Ali 17 overs, 5 maidens, 2 for 49. Shah, 9 overs, no maidens, 1 for 56. Usman Ali, 24 overs, 5 maidens, 1 for 59. And Sajid Khan, who's about to bowl his 20th over, 1 for 50, his figures.
And as prescribed, the helmet comes back out for Captain Ruston Chase just after that little split of the lip by the seam of the bowler, Sajid Khan.
Sajid in his 20th over. He just bowled the 3 balls when that incident happened, so the break was taken immediately. And Chase trying to force this one off his leg stump, but straight to Babar, who is moving away to his right at that short mid-on position and feels there's no run. Actually, Abdullah Shafiq is the fielder there. Very similar in look to his captain. Chase now. I think he pulled out of that shot as it spun across him and taken by Rizwan. And Sajid Khan has been able to extract a fair amount of turn here. And that's why we have the 2 close-in fieldsmen. 1 in front of square, 1 just behind square on the leg side. Chase turning the next delivery straight to mid-wicket. There's no run. We've seen this a lot throughout the day. Just a couple of runs at the start of the over, and those 3 balls will bring us to the end of the over. That's the end of Sajid's 20th over. His figures 1 for 50. West Indies 225 for 5. A couple of overs ago, I was trying to see how many dot balls there have been in the day. There have been over 300 already. So 50 overs of the overs so far for the day. Out of the 70 have not been scored of.
That is Test cricket for you with teams ranked to the bottom of the table. I'm going to put it like that. Because good teams find ways to score for more of the deliveries rather than have 50 overs of dot balls.
Well, the scoring rate was a lot higher earlier. It's not been terrible by any means. 3.21 at the moment. As Usman bowling to Graves. Nice, pleasant, elegant drive out to extra cover. Babar fields and there's no run. And you get the feeling that this final session will really define what's going to be happening, will define the day for one of these 2 teams. And so far it has been the West Indies. It's all about recovery for them. Graves forward to the next one, and there's no run. 2 spinners in operation. The light is still good here. No suggestion that the 2 umpires, umpire Madana Gopal and umpire Kettleborough, have decided to check the light meters. And off the back foot is Graves, straight to the fielder. There's no run. Initially, on online sources, it was stated that Alex Worf was going to be doing the umpiring, but it is the Indian umpire, Madana Gopal, and of course Richard Kettleborough from Yorkshire in England. Those are the 2 umpires in operation. Graves turns it on the onside. This is a sharp single. Graves is rushing down to the other end. He gets there safely, and the throw did not hit the stumps, and they can't take the overthrow. So just the 1 run, and Shah went to the bowler's end. And in fact, I think there's a little inquiry as to why he didn't go to the keeper's end.
Just a risky single, given the context of Justin Graves and that potential injury, or the fact that he's a bit, incapacitated.
Yeah, I think that's why Shah decided to go for the non-striker's end, but one of his teammates reminding him that he should have gone the other way. This one is driven through the extra cover region. That could go for 4. It will get there now, and that's another elegant-looking shot from Ruston Chase, who is looking pretty good here. These are shades of the type of form he displayed a couple of weeks ago when he got that big 100 for the West Indies.
He is driving with authority, and that is a phenomenal stroke from Captain Ruston Chase, who has surpassed his Test average of 25. He's gone into the 30s now, and you would expect that he continues to bat well throughout this close-up period.
Usman to Chase, forward to it, plays it back to the bowler. There's no run, and so far Chase looking more in the type of form that the West Indies would have hoped to see him in as the over comes to an end. 5 runs in the over, 230 for 5, and Ralphie, the man, the caretaker, sitting next to one of the television men, Colin, who that's a guy who runs on to take the stump mics off. They're having a bit of a laugh there in the pavilion at the moment.
Who do you have in 100 meter? I think I've seen both of them run, Ralphie or Colin.
Yeah, Colin's going to have his, in previous times I would have bet Colin, but he hasn't been running chatting with him earlier. He said, well, not much chance to jog these days. Times he would wear through quite a few shoes for the year in terms of his jogging, but not so much time this year. Ralphie would take it by a canter, I feel. Sajid is now coming round the wicket to Graves, who's on driving. Picked up there by Shafiq. There's no run. All the way through his the previous, all of the 20 overs he's bowled before. He's bowled over the wicket. Now he's coming around the wicket here. So this is a bit of a change for him. Sajid again around the wicket to the right-handed Graves, flicking this into the gap between the two close-in fieldsmen. There is a protection in front of square, so just going to be one as Ali Usman comes in to do the fielding. And I'm seeing, warming up right now, Salman Ali Agha is standing at the first slip position. He is now doing all the calisthenics you would expect to see from a bowler. Now he does bowl. He has 20 test wickets. Doesn't bowl a lot. Chase flicking this one out to mid-wicket. There's one. So will they risk him for a couple of overs here late?
I would certainly reckon they should. This late in the day, I think they definitely should make that approach.
That's it back over the wicket, and Chase is flicking this one through mid-wicket this time. We'll get one. And he has accelerated over the last half an hour or so. Chase has sort of gone into a little bit of a shell after he fell awkwardly and seemed to wrench his ankle. He's still limping though. He's not 100%. And I just have a feeling that overnight he's not going to have a comfortable night sleeping, because with the adrenaline now, he's not going to feel it. But later on, well, might be a bit of a problem. Might have to see the physio. Next delivery played out to mid-wicket. No run. Well, you, as the queen of injuries, you know certainly about that.
Oh, Monica, I would like to drop the queen of injuries. I definitely want to get past of that.
It's Sajid Dawood. Oh, he's flicked that close to the close-in fieldsman, just away from Babar, and he declines the single, but that was not far away from the left hand of Babar Azam, who is reminding the batsman that he's very, very lucky to have escaped there. And is that it for the day? The umpires just walking up. Chase is having a mid-pitch conference. Is this going to be the end of the day? Let's see as the umpire comes up to the other end. No, they will continue, and it is going to be Salman Ali Agha to bowl the next over.
We've seen his catching abilities. I have not seen the bowling abilities, but he has 20 wickets. So, as a part-timer, he definitely knows how to get wickets, and I think that introducing him here is a ripe time for the Pakistani team, with West Indies currently fluently playing strokes against the other spinners. I think introduction of a new bowler can bring about some false shots. They now have to reset their minds to what he is about to deliver.
Salman just about to bowl. He's an off spinner out of Lahore in Punjab, and he is going to be bowling now to Chase. First delivery is a good one, keeping the West Indies captain honest. He plays it out to the extra cover region. There's no run, and there is a short leg. There's a slip in place. Those are the two catches. There's also a short mid wicket now for him. Salman pulls out of the next delivery. There's no run. He's I wouldn't say he's muscular, but he's well built. He's very tall also. Looks about 6'2" or so, and very long. Not a bad hairstyle indeed. Next one is driven down to mid-off, and there's no run. Sort of brush back here that the Pakistanis seem to favor, and those a full beard and mustache.
Almost movie star-esque.
Here's Salman. Next delivery. Oh, he's almost played this on. It's an inside edge that fizzes past the off stump and goes down to fine leg, and Chase will get one. That's the second injudicious shot he's played in the last few minutes. And you said that Salman's hairstyle is a movie star. There's, of course, Salman Khan, the famous Bollywood star. I don't think we'll see Salman Ali Agha in any films anytime soon, but he is trying to script something for himself here. Maybe a late wicket for him. His 21st in Test match cricket. Graves is on driving, gets onto that nicely and plays it down to Ali at long on. He's going to get one. We really feel that within a couple of overs, the umpires will be pulling at those bails.
Oh, definitely. For Salman Ali Agha, I think we saw Chase has to settle himself. 2 false shots in the space of no time.
And this time, Chase is playing a more conventional on-drive and picks up one, playing it off the back foot, so just one to him. So there's something going on beneath that helmet there. For some reason, he feels that he needs to play a few more shots, and Both of those times he almost perished as a result. That last shot, it was a really agricultural looking shot, almost played it onto his stumps. Greaves is playing the next one off the body of the man in front of him at bat pad and picks up one. He's going to trot down to the other end. The over has come to an end. 4 singles to end off the over. Salman, none for 4. Chase 35. Graves 62. And the West Indies 236 for 5. And this is representing a very good recovery for the West Indies, who lost their last wicket at 173.
Certainly an excellent recovery period here, and what these two batsmen need to ensure is that they go into the dressing room together at the end of today's play. They need to stay compact, ensure that they bat throughout the remaining part of today's play so that they can give West Indies a chance of accelerating the score to in excess of 350 above par on this venue.
Well, umpire Madana Gopal is standing in his approved fashion. He watches as Sajid Khan is in now. One that kept a little bit low to Graves, playing it out to mid-on, and there's no run. And the two umpires had a bit of a talk just before. I think they were discussing about the light itself. It is pretty bright here. Well, not as bright as earlier, obviously. On driven by Graves. Nice tumbling stop there at the mid-on position, and that's getting the applause of the bowler. The bowler came over to give him the low 5. That's Abdullah Shafiq, who's come into the side. Nice stop. Here is Khan. Graves playing this through the gap at mid-wicket and picks up one more. So they're doing it in singles at the moment, the West Indies. After that flurry of boundaries, they've settled down and they're going to try to play themselves in towards the end of the day. So we were asking you earlier about who you felt was in the ascendancy. You said Pakistan had West Indies had a slight advantage. Hope went after that. Next delivery is defended back to the bowler. There's no run. And then when Hope went, you felt that Pakistan had edged ahead. Now this partnership has really put West Indies back in the driver's seat.
I would certainly say that.
Sajid, this one is played through the mid-wicket region by Chase. He's up by 1 to 36, 238 for 5.
So West Indies would definitely be in the driver's seat, but Pakistan is right there wrestling for control because 1 wicket and the balance swings in their favor yet again. And that is the makeup of these two teams. 1 wicket changes the complexity, but they're even keel as a unit.
Nice looking shot there by Graves. Through the onside, picks up 1 down to long on. Partnership now with 65, 237 for 5 now at the end of the over. A lot of those shots just played through the mid-wicket region so far by these two batters. And of the 2 players at the crease, well, Justin Graves, his wagon wheel shows that his best shot has been the cover drive so far, 15 runs off it. Behind square, on the offside, he's also picked up 13 runs. So he's picked his runs have really come off the offside. A lot of shots there. As for Chase, 11 on the onside. And I think the umpires have decided that the light is not good enough, so they are going to be coming off. So the West Indies will come off with the score 239 for 5. Graves not out on 64 and Chase not out on 36. So you're about to say that advantage West Indies?
Advantage West Indies heading into tomorrow's first session of the day 2 of this second test match between West Indies and Pakistan. I think advantage certainly to the West Indies team. They've stumbled earlier today, but they've recovered to post 239 for 5.
Well, let's run through the scorecard to tell you how things have happened in this match. West Indies, of course, leading the series 1-0 after defeating Pakistan by 90 runs in Taruba. 90 runs completed on the day that Sir Garfield Sobers would have been 90 years old. So there was a bit of symmetry, a bit of celestial symmetry to that as we came into this match. The West Indies looking for their first win over Pakistan in a series since 2000. So if the West Indies can avoid defeat here in this one, they would have that victory. So Tagenarine Chanderpaul and Brandon King went into bat after Roston Chase called right, and Roston Chase called right and won the toss. Tagenarine Chanderpaul Court Sajid bowled Ali for 15. Brandon King, LBW Usman for 46. Hodge caught Rizwan bowled Khan for 10. Jangu caught Rizwan bowled Shah for 26. And Shea Hope bowled by Muhammad Ali for 29. Justin Graves not out 64. Roston Chase not out 36. And extras 13. West Indies 239 for 5. It has been a match so far where the West Indies team and their innings has been littered by unrealized starts.
Yes, certainly unrealized starts, and I think you put it superbly. You had Brandon King, 46 off of 50 deliveries. You had Tagenarine Chanderpaul as well, getting starts. This time around, Hodge did not get off. He did not fire, and I felt like he lost his wicket to a very injudicious shot. It was uncalled for and untimely. But credit to the West Indies batters. They continued to apply pressure by batting in partnerships, absorbing the pressure. And we see this last partnership bearing fruit as they're 66 off 150 odd balls.
Right. Well, as we speak and we run through the innings, just to tell you that the West Indies coach Darren Sammy and the bowling coach Ravi Rampal have come out to the square to inspect the pitch. They want to get an assessment in as to how the pitch will play tomorrow. It was very, very helpful to the seamers earlier. Not very helpful, but helpful for the seamers earlier. The spinners came on early, and since then it's been a match in which the spinners have played a bigger part. Muhammad Ali, here's his figures. 17 overs, 5 maidens, 2 for 49, spread over 3 different spells. Ubaid Shah on debut took a wicket, so he's off the mark, but he has bowled the least number of overs of the 4 bowlers used before Anka in the last over. 9 overs, 1 for 56. Ali Usman, he's borne the brunt of the attack. 25 overs, 5 maidens, 1 for 64. He's been good. Sajid Khan has also been pretty good at the other end. He, in fact, is the most economical bowler for the Pakistanis. 22 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 55. And Salman just bowling the 1 over for 4 runs for Pakistan there. And if you're Ravi Rampal and Darren Sammy, they're looking at the pitch right now, what would you be thinking going into the second day?
I've been thinking, what score gets my team into a good position before I'm required to bowl, because they are planning for all eventualities. Let's say West Indies lose early wickets in the morning, they have to know how their bowlers are going to come out and try to ensure that Pakistan does not eat away quite a lot of the lead. So I think it's a mixture of looking to see what demons the pitch possibly has for their batters, as well as ensuring if something goes awry, what is the bowling plans?
Well, Rampal and Sammy continue to look away. The groundsmen are dragging on the covers. We've had some rain today, and everyone's settling into the mode for the post-game session. Well, that's going to be it for us here. West Indies close at 239 for 5, and the not-out batters, to remind you, Graves on 64 and Chase on 36. The best bowler for Pakistan today has again been Muhammad Ali, 2 for 49, and that is the situation here. So on behalf of our commentators, Tony Gray, Colin Murray, Kanisha Isaac, and our technical operator, Joel Smitty Thompson, from the Queen's Park Oval, I'm Vidya Ramphal, saying goodbye for now. We'll have an early start tomorrow, and we will be back with you at that time.